Hi, everyone. Welcome to Module 10. This week, you'll be asked to plan ideas for an editorial on water. You'll also be asked to develop a draft of your water in the desert editorial. So you'll see that there's a generating ideas assignment. With this assignment, you're asked to choose two pre-writing strategies. So you could choose free writing first, and then pick some of your ideas and create a cluster map. Or you could list ideas first and then choose some of those ideas and free write about them. But out of these three choices, choose two strategies to help you develop ideas. There are some questions listed in the module, and you can use these questions if you find them helpful. They help you think about the water issue that you've selected and kind of who, what, when, where, why, how, questions to help you flesh out your understanding of this issue. And then they help you consider some of the actions or solutions that you would recommend to address the issue. After planning out your ideas through that generating ideas assignment, then you're asked to draft your editorial. You will see that there is a table that looks like this that includes some explanation to help you create an introduction paragraph, several body paragraphs, and a conclusion. There's also some information to help you use MLA format. Also in this area, you'll see that there's an editorial outline template. And so you do not need to turn in this outline, but I would encourage you to use it to help you plan out the organization of your editorial. And so this is an academic writing piece. And in that, typically people expect in the introduction that there'll be three different parts. There'll be a hook or an attention grabber that grabs the audience's attention and encourages them to read more. This might be a quote from one of the resources you've read or a question about a water issue. Then typically writers include background information. This is where they provide basic information to help readers understand the issue. And so you might develop 1 to 3 sentences that helps readers understand the issue that you've selected. And then I would encourage you to move into a thesis statement. And so your thesis statement would be 1 to 2 sentences where you briefly state the issue and the solution or solutions you will propose. This serves as a transition into your body paragraphs. And with this assignment, I suggest you think about this as having 2 sections in the body paragraphs. So the first section is where you would discuss the issue. And you can look back at your generating ideas assignment, describe, who's impacted, what has happened, when and where it took place, why it matters or why it's concerning, and how it impacts people in general. This may be a good place to place evidence from a source. And so part of your requirements for this assignment are to integrate either a summary, paraphrase, or a quote from an outside source. And so you could explain something like, according to this author, or based on this source, right? And integrate a quote or integrate a summary or a paraphrase. Then explain the information, right? Anytime we integrate other material from outside sources, we want to explain what it means and why it matters. And so you discuss that source and educate your readers about the topic. You'll see that there's some explanation here that you should separate paragraphs as needed. And so if your issue is complex, you might develop several paragraphs to describe it. So for example, if your issue impacts several communities or it impacts people in several different ways, you might have a few paragraphs here in this section. Or if your issue impacts maybe one group of people in a specific way, it's okay just to have one paragraph. Then we'd move into the second section, which is where we focus on the solution or solutions. And again, depending on how complex this section is, you may have multiple paragraphs. So for example, if you have multiple solutions, you might have multiple paragraphs discussing each. You should describe your solution or solutions. And then also, if you have evidence, include evidence from another source, explain that evidence. And in this section, I would also encourage you to think about critical thinking, right? When we consider the opposition or people who disagree with us, we want to consider what they might state and why and how we would respond. And then finally, the fourth section of your paper is the conclusion paragraph. When you look at the tabs here explaining the conclusion, you'll get some explanation But typically conclusions in academic writing restate the thesis statement or the main idea, summarize the main points, and try to end it in an interesting way. And so this week you're spending time developing your editorial. Once you have a draft ready, you can move forward to the discussion where you're asked to post your draft so that your classmates can see it. And then next week we will complete peer review. So you'll see some questions here. You don't need to answer those yet. In week 11, we'll complete peer review for 2 classmates, but this gives you a sense of what will be coming up. So I hope that you enjoy writing your editorial. I'm certainly looking forward to reading it. There's a module checklist to help you make sure you've completed all the tasks. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and we can talk about any questions or concerns you may have. All right. Thank you. Have a great week. Take care. Bye.